My head is just going to explode. I'm going full on scanners, and you're going to see blood and viscera fly in every direction. It's going to splatter the lens of this camera because that's the kind of day this is. So I filmed 20 minutes of video, went upstairs, put the card into my computer, no audio. Came downstairs and I thought, well, look, I didn't turn the receiver on, my wireless receiver. Heat's kicking on. It's cold down here. It's 55 degrees in my basement studio, so you're gonna have to deal with that heat because I'm not turning it off, because if I do, wife's gonna kill me because she's upstairs, and if she gets cold, blammo, blammo, Hulk, smash, blammo. Okay, so I came down and I thought I'm gonna film it again. So I start filming and something in the back of my head creeped in and said, better check something. So I pulled my wireless mic receiver out of my pocket, and guess what? It wasn't on. And I was probably 5 minutes into filming the second try. What a world, what a world, what a world. Ladies and gentlemen, technology. It's your friend. Okay, so it's so cold. I should put a heater right there, right at my feet, blaring up at me. Warm, 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 warm. It's so cold that my fingernails have turned to ice. Ice, ice, baby. My wife says I have robot fingernails. Of course, she thinks I'm a robot anyway, so what are you going to do? Okay, so this is going to be a different video because I have two things I want to talk about. And I'm going to try not to blather on too much, but you know how it is. You've been watching these videos long enough, you know blather is my jam. Anyway, the other day, I got onto Facebook. Yeah, I know. Got onto Facebook, scroll a little bit, saw an ad from a group that I'm not a part of, have nothing to do with, don't want anything to do with, have no respect for the content they produce, and just really don't want them in my world. So what did I do? I hit the little three-dot menu, click, block group. Scroll, scroll, scroll. What's this? Same content. What the hell? It's the same content from a different group. Click, block, scroll. Oh my gosh, the same damn content. This time it's from a user's profile. Click, block. Scroll, 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 click, block, click, block, click, block, click. I did that for probably a half an hour straight. I wound up blocking about 50 groups and profiles that were trying to shill the same shit onto my feed. It was terrible. It was awful. But that's Facebook now. It is a garbage dump that is doing nothing but spewing deadly methane gas that smells like awful farts that have been festering for years and only just now being let out, and we have to smell it. And I don't like it. And I bet you don't like it either. Because that's not what we signed up for. The next day, I had to repeat the same thing. I was blocking that content, blocking the content, and Facebook's algorithm said, oh look, he clicked on this content. I guess he wants to see more of it. I only clicked on it to block it, Mark Zuckerberg. Get the hint. Your algorithm sucks. So, today, this morning, I came up with an idea. And I'm going to share that idea with you so you don't have to deal with this thing, this crap anymore. Here's the idea. I created a group. I created a group. The group is called A Gathering of Friends. And then I got on Facebook and I made a post and I said, ladies and gentlemen, I've created a group so I can avoid seeing all the crap that Facebook wants to foist on me. If you want to be a part of that group, please let me know. The purpose of this group is just so that we can interact without having to deal with ads and crap. Because there's not enough toilet paper in the world to wipe away the crap that Facebook is dumping on us. There's just not. So, created the group. Next thing I know, I'm getting all sorts of people saying, I want to be a part, I want to be a part, I want to be a part. This is a great idea, let's do this. So I start inviting people. I only invite people to the group who ask to be a part of it. And that, my friends, is important. Don't just invite people willy-nilly without their permission, because that's going to piss people off. So, create the group, invite the people, there we go. All of a sudden, I go onto the group and people are interacting. I'm not seeing any ads. It's just people. And even better, it's just people I like. There's no agenda to the group other than interacting. Interacting without the crap. And it works. It works beautifully. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would highly recommend that if you still are on Facebook, that you do this. And when you do it, and you get all those people that you love to interact with in that group, you probably won't ever venture outside of that group again, because you know what's out there. And it ain't pretty. It's not like my nails. That is my Facebook hack for you to use. You're welcome. Now, let's move on to what I was originally going to talk about today, because this one's not as happy, not as friendly and fun, but it's important. So, yesterday, I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw a post by a writer I know. Now, you have to understand, this is a B-list writer. B-list. Okay, so if you don't know, B-list might sound like, oh, B-horror, so they're not very good? No. In the world of writing, A-listers they're huge. They are Stephen King, they are Patterson, they are, I hate to say this name, but Rowling. And so you know who I'm talking about. They are the big hitters. They are the ones that sell millions upon millions of books. The B-list writers, they're still doing really, really well. They're just not Stephen King. They're not stupid money. They're sensible money. Well, this writer made a post that explained something that had happened to him. And it essentially was that someone on Reddit accused him of stealing their idea for a book. And he kind of outlined what this idea was. And it's common. It's something that's common, that happens, that anyone can experience or whatever. And this writer pretty much said that they stole it from him. Here's the thing. You can't copyright an idea. You can't copyright a plot of a book. You can copyright the execution of the idea. But you cannot copyright the idea itself. Why do I know that? Because the same thing happened to me. Let me explain. Several years ago, Amazon held a contest. And that contest was essentially, you write a book, you enter the book in the contest, you promote the book, and the book that gets the most promotion and the most traction and the most likes and the routine will win the competition. And the winner will get published by an imprint of Amazon. It was a big deal. It really was a big deal, especially for those of us who aren't B-list writers. For C and D and E-list writers, it was a big deal. So I wrote Suicide Station and I submitted it, and I worked harder than I've ever worked in my life to promote a book. And I was doing really well. People were really digging the idea of Suicide Station. And I was climbing up and up and up and up and up, and I was near the top. And it was getting towards the end of the competition, and I was at the top. I was going to win this competition. I was going to have Suicide Station published by Amazon, by an Amazon imprint, and that was going to launch my career as a writer. And then someone came along and claimed that I stole their idea. I didn't know what to do. I read the description of their book and I said, I didn't steal this. I don't know you. I've never heard of your book. I've never even seen the title or the cover or anything regarding your book. I didn't steal it. Now, fortunately, at the time, I had a fairly sizable group of beta readers who had my back. They went out, bought copies of that person's book, read it, and said, they are not even close. There's one concept within these two books that are slightly similar, but that's it. And those beta readers sent word to Amazon, said, this is not, he did not steal this idea. But unfortunately, it was too late. And I got knocked off. I got knocked out of the competition because one person decided that this book I wrote that was gaining a lot of traction and was looking like it was going to win this competition got something up her craw, and she decided to shoot me down. I did not win the competition. I did not get that book published on Amazon imprint, and I was brokenhearted. But at the same time, I knew with absolute certainty that I did not steal that person's idea. So I know how this other author feels. And they have been attacked on social media. And they've been attacked several times over several years for doing similar things. And that person is innocent. Let me tell you something here. It's not easy coming up with original ideas. There are only 7 original plots. Man against man, man against machine, man against nature, man against self. I can't think of the other 3, but they're there. There are 7 original plots. And people use them all the time. There's this dude named Billy, last name Shakespeare. You know him. Pretty cool guy. Wrote some pretty good plays. One of which was called Romeo and Juliet. Probably know it. You've probably read countless books based on Romeo and Juliet. You've probably read countless books and seen countless movies that pretty much the plot has been stolen from Romeo and Juliet. And you don't see old Billy coming out and saying, you stole my plot. Of course, Billy's dead, so he can't do that. But you get the idea. Look, as I said, it's hard to come up with an original idea. And I've said this before, when I came up with the idea for A Tale of Two Reapers, I read the idea and I thought, this sounds kind of familiar. So I did a little research and I was like, oh, this is Death Takes a Holiday. Can't write that. I certainly can't write that because I will be accused of stealing, and I don't want to steal because I'm not that writer. I'm not that artist. I don't steal people's ideas. I don't need to because I have a very fruitful imagination. So I took that idea and I bent and I twisted it and I said, okay, I'm going to wring something original out of that. And lo and behold, I did. I even do that with titles. I'll come up with a title of a book, say, okay, has this title been used? Oh, looks like that title's been used, got to change it. There's always going to be someone out there desperate enough to point the finger of blame at you and saying, you stole my idea. Well, like I said, you can't copyright an idea. You can't. It's maddening. It's truly, utterly, profoundly maddening what's going on out there. There have always been people trying to game the system. There really are. Click farmers, and hopefully the click farmers are gone, but I don't think they are. And that happened when Kindle Unlimited came out, and people thought, oh, I can game this system. I can create a farm of people who are just going to click through this crappy book that I published, and because they're clicking through so many pages, I'm going to make a lot of money. And they did. While the rest of us were sitting back going, I don't know what to do. I'm not gaining any traction. I'm not making any money from this book that I spent months and months working on. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into this book. And writers everywhere are struggling. You know, remember I mentioned those A-list writers and B-list writers? You know, A-list writers are making millions and millions of dollars. B-list writers are probably making hundreds of thousands of dollars. The rest of us are lucky to make enough money a month to buy a Starbucks coffee. I know writers out there who are writing brilliant novels and don't make a penny. And yet there are people out there accusing others of stealing their work. Look, if you want to point the finger of blame and say someone's stealing your work, look at artificial intelligence. Generative AI is stealing our work. No artist with any scruples or morals is going to steal someone else's idea. Yeah, sometimes we might come up with an idea and unintentionally, or not realizing that the idea has already been written. And when we discover that, we're going to change our idea and make it unique. Because we have character and morals, and we don't want to do that to other artists. Because believe it or not, some of us actually care about other people. And some of us don't want to steal other people's ideas. It's just not in us. If I thought for a second that I was writing a book that I inadvertently stole the plot from, I'd stop. I'd be like, oh, no, I can't do this. I'll take what I've written and tweak the idea so that it's original and rewrite everything so that I don't have to, that I'm stepping on anybody's toes. And it's not because I'm worried about the consequences. It's because I just don't want to do that to someone else. Because I know how hard it is to come up with an original idea. Old Billy Shakes going to come out of the grave and say, you know what? I worked really hard on Romeo and Juliet. And all you people out there are copying my idea and rewriting Romeo and Juliet. I want my pay. I want what's mine. Shakespeare's not going to do that. He wouldn't do that if he was alive. He would just say, forsooth. My execution was profoundly better than yours. So, huzzah. I get it. It's hard. It's a hard knock life out there for artists. And sometimes we've got to scrape and scrap and claw and dig and kick just to get some semblance of notice. Because there are more writers than readers. There are almost 10,000 books published a day on Amazon. 10,000 a day. That's 10,000 ideas that have been published a day. Now, of course, there are writers out there that are pretty much taking one idea that they've written and rewriting it over and over and over and over and over again. There's one writer in particular that I know of that has written probably 100 books. And each one is just a variation on a theme of something getting jammed in someone's butt. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that that person's a bad writer. I'm not. They caught on to something. They struck gold with something and they ran with it. And bravo to them, because their ideas are certainly not being stolen from other people. At least whatever's getting jammed in someone else's butt in their books is original. And to them, I applaud them. I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to get in trouble, but if you've been around this business long enough, you know who I'm talking about. Look, most of us are really, really just trying to do some good. We're just trying to create something that will help you, help entertain you, help you to forget about the crap that's going on in your life. And maybe, just maybe make the world a little bit better. We're not out to steal anybody's idea. We're not out to take someone else's spotlight. I mean, when other writers succeed, I'm like, good for you. Bravo. Yeah. And that's the way it should be, right? Shouldn't we celebrate other people's successes instead of shooting them down and trying to claim that they've stole our ideas? I mean, if you're writing fan fiction, well, just think about this. Think about this. If you're writing fan fiction, you're already stealing someone else's idea. If you're writing Harry Potter fan fiction and you think someone else stole your idea, look in the mirror. I'm not saying fan fiction is bad. Fan fiction serves a purpose. And if that's what you want to do, then great. Then do it, but own what it is. And don't claim that other people stole your idea. Sometimes all I can do when I peek outside of my door and look into the real world is shake my damn head and think, whew, we're not going to make it as a species. We are on a collision course with doom. Or we can all reach out to one another, embrace and say, it's going to be okay. We're going to make it. We're going to make it because we have each other. Because we can create groups on Facebook and avoid all the crap. Or we can trust that artists out there are not stealing our ideas. They're just really trying to create something original and make a penny. Because you can't say make a buck as an artist. Because the buck was shooting for the moon. Anyway, that's all I got today. I'm sorry if I seem a little loopy, but it's just freaking cold down here. And that's just how I'm feeling today. I'm feeling a little zippy in the brain, like my brain's got the zoomies and it's just vroom, 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 running around a racetrack inside of my skull. Anyway, my friends, my wonderful, wonderful friends, thank you so much for giving me a minute of your time. Hopefully, everything recorded this time and I don't have to try this again because I don't have it in me to try again. I'm too cold. I'm too cold. Thank you for being a part of my world. Thank you for giving me a little bit of your time, and I hope so much that you and everyone you know and love have a wonderful, wonderful day. And now I'm going to go get warm.